Welcome to the Engineering, Emotions, and Energy Podcast, where you can relax, recharge, and reconnect. And now, your host, Justin Wink.
All right. Today, I'm talking about the power of the present moment, and it's a lesson that really became really real, really understood in the wake of an experience I had in the wake of my mom passing this week. So from a little low energy, it's been a roller coaster of emotion. It's a Friday night, and I'm recording this in a hotel. And I found out late Monday night that she suddenly passed away. That topic, we're going to be talking about death and things related to it. So if that's something not for you, then please don't listen to this episode. Although I'd encourage you to challenge yourself. Either way, help me out by rating this episode 5 stars. So it's an emotional roller coaster. I've been feeling everything from, there's been some levity, some laughter, lots of sadness that comes up, grief, anger, frustration, relief, just all the things. What has really kind of stood out is how precious every moment we have is, because yesterday I had the opportunity to view my mom's body and hold her hand. And when touching the cold hand, it was kind of like stainless steel in a chilly room. It was very apparent that her life force was not there. And it's just seeing the calmness and the peace, which is very different than her usual way of being, which was often very anxious and worrisome. So that part was relieving in some ways, but then the finality that she's gone is sad. And then also in that moment of holding that cold hand, it hit me that I will never, ever have this exact experience ever again in my life. That in a few days she'd be cremated and the physical form of my mom would be gone. And that was a moment that could never be repeated. When we think of all of life's moments, they really are 100% unique and filled with so much potential and power if we're aware and we're awake to that. Even when it seems like maybe it's mundane or it's something we do all the time, on many levels, it's unique. So even if it's the same drive or the same cup of coffee, really is not the same because you're different. The cells in your body are probably, different cells because our cells in our body, many of them die and then others are born. And so just so much changing all the time that every moment really is a standalone, unique moment. And there's just such a power for noticing it, because that's where we can sort of decide what we want to make of that moment. Since my dad told me the news about my mom passing, we don't exactly know what happened. She hasn't been in good health for quite a while, and it happened. It happened suddenly. One of the things he's mentioned is how much regret he has of, things that have happened in his life with respect to her and, with me and probably, many other people. It was one of those, like, he said it so often that I kind of realized that I'm at a point where I don't really regret anything in my life. That doesn't mean that I've lived perfectly. In fact, quite the opposite. There's been a number of mistakes, and looking back, things I wish I would have known, wish I would have done different. Yet I don't bring those shameful or those guilty feelings with me into this moment. I actively choose to bring the lessons learned from those moments into the moments of now when maybe the past does come up. And with that allows for so much growth, so much opportunity, just so much spaciousness to create a different way of being that's different than the past. Because I know for me, I used to have lots of regrets and feel bad about a lot of things that I did, and it actually made it really hard to do something different, to really take those lessons and integrate them and make different choices. It was, I'm sure many of you have habits and things, and I still have habits, eating things I don't want to eat. And I've learned that the more I dislike the behavior that I did, the more likely the behavior continues, gets done again. Whereas when I can kind of go, oh, I see what's going on here. I see the benefit or the missing need or the missing piece. Then usually if that behavior really isn't meant to be, it loses its power, it loses its hold. It's kind of like in The Wizard of Oz, it's kind of like opening the curtain up and seeing that, oh, it's not a big scary wizard, it's just a little something, just, trying to run the machine. But once we see who's running the machine, we can go, get out of here and give me what I really want. That's why I don't really have regrets anymore. And I've also learned how much I've, forgiven not just other people. In fact, in a lot of ways, forgiving other people can sometimes be easier. It's the self-forgiveness. And I know I still have some more work on that. But I found the more that I have given myself the benefit of the doubt, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know any better. I was doing my best in the circumstances and with the information and the capabilities. The better I can treat others. And there's a lot that I can see, with my mom, where I think I've really started to take in the amount of love that she really had for me and for a lot of people, because a lot of people have already been reaching out and saying, how much they appreciated my mom's love and creativity and caring. And there's a lot with the relationship with my mom that was not great, where it's, I'll say, I loved her, but I really didn't like her that much. It was challenging to be around her. So I'd limit the amount of time I'd spend, because it's sort of draining, sort of that nervousness, that worry, and because she was so loving and so forgiving that she was effectively a doormat. Just anybody could do anything. I really think I probably could have, slapped her, burned the house to the ground, kicked her dog, and if I would have gone, hey, could I stay at your place? She'd go, oh, okay. Which when I was younger, it was frustrating because she would have been my advocate, or should have been my advocate from my perspective as a little kid, and she wouldn't do that because just people run over her. She didn't have great boundaries. For a while I would be upset, frustrated with that. Looking from this moment of now, what I bring is that she really did teach me the lesson to not be a doormat by being a doormat. Because I saw the pain that it caused me, caused her, and how often that didn't really serve other people. Because a lot of times when we can just get whatever we want out of something, we end up being stuck. We're not really growing. It's been really kind of amazing to see that and realize that I don't want to do that. Yet with her being really loving and supportive, it's allowed me to do things that do frustrate people. And that's what I realized that, my mom was doing a lot of times. She's doing the best that she could. And I didn't get the lesson that I wanted the way I wanted it, but I got the lesson the way I needed it. So I've learned to sort of overcome people pleasing and figure out what I want and advocate for that, while doing it sort of, in a loving, kind way, and forgiving others and forgiving myself when mistakes are made. So it's really been really, really awesome, because sometimes we don't know how things are meant to work out. So when I was on the way to view my mom's body, because I found out about 16, 18 hours before the viewing was going to happen, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get here. So I booked the first flight, which was like the last flight out of the San Francisco airport, and book it. Get there. Someone gives me a ride, which is really amazing, really awesome. Get through security. Then we get boarded on the plane. Well, and actually the plane was late. They're like, we got to board because Orange County has a curfew. So we get on, and everyone's settled, and it's like, wait, it's like past the time when they said that we have to leave, otherwise we're not going to make it. Cancel the flight. But we all did what they said. We got on, and then the pilot gets on, and he gives a 2-minute apology speech, but then long and the short, or the short and the long, whatever. The point of his 2-minute story was mechanical difficulties. We're not going to Orange County tonight. So we all get off the plane. I get put up in a hotel, which is nice, and get rebooked on a 6 a.m. flight. So it's like go to sleep at 11 p.m. I don't think I slept very well. Then wake up at 4:20 to get to the airport. We get on the plane, and they pull the plane backs out. They go to start the engines, and one of the engines doesn't start. So they got to go back to the gate. They have us all get off the plane. And half the people on this plane were on the plane last night, so we're getting really good at this shit. And they're like, well, we got to see if we can get this fixed. Fortunately, they do get it fixed. Now, you'd think that at that point, I might be getting really pissed off. I would have been getting pissed off in the past, and many people were getting frustrated and annoyed, like, what the hell? Like, can't you guys get a plane to take off? And, isn't that kind of what you do? But I was like, there really isn't much I can do. I'm in this system of the airplane. My luggage is checked, so they have my luggage until they give it back. And it's I don't necessarily know maybe what I might be missing that I don't want to be a part of, or maybe what I'm being delayed so I run into the right thing. And the plane gets fixed, and we get to take off. And right about as we're in midair, I get this idea of, oh, I know what I want to do for the viewing of my mom's body. Because there was a little bit of like, what the fuck do we do? Do we just like stare at this corpse? Or because it's like we don't have any shared really religion or anything necessarily. I've got my own spirituality, and they have, I don't even know, but basically we don't talk about it because it's not shared. So I was like, well, what are we going to do? Just the three of us alone here with mom's body. And came to me as, well, we could each just write a letter, because I didn't get a chance to say goodbye or say a bunch of stuff, and neither did my mom or my dad. So I got started writing my letter, where I said all the things, that I loved her and appreciated, but then also the things that, I was mad about, angry about, and frustrated about. And when we landed, I told my dad, and he was like, that sounds great. And so it was really amazing. Kind of, we each showed up with a letter to put on her body. They'll then end up being cremated. So it's like these messages will get to go with her. And so it's like a great mix of a shared experience and a solo experience. And I really don't know if I had, gotten there on time if I would have had that idea. And so, we really do we get what we need, just not necessarily what we want. And sometimes what we need is actually even better than what we could have planned. So that's just kind of another example of like no regrets, no upsets about things that have happened, because I see how many wonderful, amazing things have happened. And I'm just very, very grateful, sad, bummed. But it was, just getting to put that letter, getting to be there, getting to hold that hand and realize how precious that moment was, and how so many moments contributed to that moment. All the quote unquote good, all the quote unquote bad allowed for that moment, that allowed for the learnings, that have allowed for this moment of me recording this for you right now to hear and to listen to, for you to have your moment right now. Because now is when you can create whatever you want for your interpretation of the past and your creativity of the future. It's all decided now. Your now is a collection of things that have happened that you bring into the now. And what you bring, how you bring, you have a choice. Life is choice. And you're responsible for that choice. Just like I was responsible for what flight I booked, I was responsible for everything that's happened up to this point. And oftentimes when we think that it was somebody else, it's probably we just weren't paying attention. Because I was on a train today. This will be the last story. I promise. I promise. This is a good one. I was on a train today, and it was supposed to only be about 2 hours to get to the destination, but it showed up like 15 minutes late. And then we get to one point, and the train just stops. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and so there's like no cell phone coverage. And the conductor, train head, somebody gets on the PA and goes, "Folks, sorry we're stopped. We're coming up on a part of the track that's only one train at a time. There's only one train, and so we got to wait till the train on the track already passes us. So then we're opened up and cleared, and we can go. So do apologize for the delay. As soon as that train passes, we're going to get going." And it's like, okay, fantastic. About 5 minutes later, guy gets on the phone, gives the exact same message. Like, we're waiting for the train to pass. Once the train passes, we get to go. Sorry about the delay. It's holiday weekend. And then about 15 minutes later, or whatever, the train passes and we start to go. And then about a half hour later, I overhear this guy on the phone talking to somebody like, "Yeah, we're delayed. We were stopped for like 20 or 30 minutes. I have no idea why we were stopped for so long, but so we're going to be late." And I'm just thinking, he just wasn't paying attention. It was explained to all of us twice why we weren't moving for that 20 minutes, but this individual didn't notice it. There's nothing with that individual that's different than me, you, anybody else. We all have these times where, for whatever reason, we didn't get the message. We weren't paying attention. And so we might think like, what's happening to me? I don't know what's going on. Yet I do like to believe that we always have the opportunity to be paying attention, to understand what's going on, and to use that to create out of this moment whatever it is we want. So that's why this moment is so precious. Not that one that just passed, but this one. This one. This one. So enjoy this moment, because it's really all you got until you don't anymore. So thank you so much. Do what you can to support this. I'm going to go get some sleep soon. I'm tired. All right. Thanks, everybody. I usually say good day, but I'm going to say good night. If you want to contact the show, email me at podcast@justinwink.com. That's Justin, WENCK. And find me on social media, Justin Wink, Ph.D. on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you want ways so that you can relax, recharge, and reconnect, find the Tuesday 20 every Tuesday at 12:05 p.m. Pacific. It's only 20 minutes, and it's going to get you relaxed, recharged, and reconnected. It's on YouTube, and it's on Facebook. So looking forward to seeing you there.